G'day guys, how's it going? I made a video a few days ago talking about some United Australia Party how to vote cards in the lower house, and I know that there's a lot of confusion out there in relation to what may have happened, so I'm making this video to answer questions and to basically just put the truth out there, because at the end of the day that is definitely what I consider to be most important. Alright, now, so as you all know, the United Australia Party has campaigned largely on the notion of not trusting Labor, Liberals, Nationals and the Greens and putting them last and that sort of thing. So before I begin this video, I'm going to show you some United Australia Party promo to put this in context.
Trust and honesty, what the major political parties have forgotten. We can never trust Labor, Liberals or the Greens again. Join the United Australia Party.
Authorised by Craig Kelly for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
We want a government that listens to you, that cares about our community. We can never trust Liberals or Labor or the Greens again. Join the United Australia Party now.
Now in Victoria, of course, this particular mantra was very appealing to many of us, because after 7 lockdowns and seeing the behaviour of both Labor and Liberal across the country, many of us were, of course, seeking an alternative. I know for sure that is a major reason why I initially got involved in the United Australia Party in the first place. However, a few days ago, when it was brought to my attention that the United Australia Party has received second position on multiple Liberal how to vote cards in the Senate, we're talking Victoria and Tasmania, that raised some questions for me, because I immediately thought, well, what's going on here and what's in it for the Liberal Party? So first of all, let me show you these particular tickets in question. So what you're looking at here is the Liberal how to vote card for the Senate in Victoria. You see Liberal Nationals there in position number 1 and the United Australia Party there in position number 2. Now this is Tasmania, and rest assured I have obtained this directly from the Liberal Party website. We see here once again Liberal number 1 and United Australia Party in number 2. Okay, now the question that this raises, of course, is, has Liberal done this out of the goodness of their heart, or is there something in it for them? Think about that question. Ask your friends and family around the dinner table. Now, of course, the United Australia Party have come out and they have defended their Senate how to vote card, but that's not the question that we're asking here. What we're asking is what potentially is involved for the Liberal Party. Now, I'm going to show you right here the this is the how to vote card for Victoria for the Senate for United Australia Party. Everything checks out, okay? So we've got UAP in position 1, 2 Liberal Democrats, 3 Informed Medical Options Party, 4 is One Nation, 5 is the Australian Federation Party, and 6 is the Australian Values Party. Alrighty, however, the question that I raised the other day and was, if there's a deal, what is the deal that has transpired? Because in multiple lower house seat how to vote cards issued by the United Australia Party, the Liberal Party has received preferential treatment, and I'm going to show you a bunch of examples in just a moment, preferential treatment above freedom-friendly minor parties. Of course, we've seen UAP constantly talk about their Senate how to vote card, but that is not the question that we are raising. Now, we were under the impression that the major parties, as in Liberal, Labor and the Greens, would be at the bottom of the United Australia Party issued how to vote cards for the House of Representatives. And while I'm at it, let me just inform you that it is not the individual UAP candidates that order their how to vote cards. It comes from management. Now, before I show you a myriad of examples where the Liberal Party has ranked higher than freedom-friendly minor parties on the UAP issued how to vote cards, I'm going to show you some remarks made by Clive Palmer himself around 1 month ago at the press club. Check this out.
I think we're giving him a good shake-up.
Thank you.
Sarah Ison from The Australian.
Sarah Ison from the Oz. Just following on from that, I would really like to ask about your preferences in the for the UAP and for the election. Who is your party going to suggest as number 2? And if there is a hung parliament as well, a lot of the independents I've spoken to haven't said who they'll support, but can you tell us today, if there is a hung parliament, who you'd like UAP people in Parliament to be supporting?
Well, I can give you a quick answer where we are at the moment,
Yeah.
and not try to avoid the question, right? And that is, I'm the leader of the Senate team across Australia, and when you vote for the Senate, you've got to number 6 squares, right, to recommend people for your preferences. And I can tell you that in none of those squares will be the Liberal, Labor or Greens, right? There'll be no preferences given by our party to those parties in that situation. In the House of Representatives, if it's different, you have to number every square. So I can just say that the Greens, the Liberals and the Labor will be at the bottom of that ticket. And because the nominations haven't closed, we don't know who's standing in what place. We can't determine at this stage who will be out of the last 3, but they'll all be the last 3.
Okay, so first of all, the UAP can dodge whatever questions they want about the how to vote cards, and they can keep referring to their Senate how to vote card, but I must show you the truth about the lower house how to vote cards issued by UAP. So I'm going to run through some examples here. Alrighty, so the seat of Aston, we have Liberal there in number 3, outranking One Nation. In the seat of Reid, we have again Liberal in position 3, outranking One Nation, that is in the position 5. For the seat of Cooper, we have Labor in position 3, outranking One Nation in position 5. In the seat of Chisholm, we have Liberal there in position 3, outranking One Nation, that is in position 4, and the Australian Federation Party, which is an upcoming Freedom Party, in position 5. Latrobe, we have One Nation placed below Liberal. Okay, so this one they actually put AFP in position 3, but of course we see Liberal once again outranking One Nation. In the seat of Dunkley, we see Liberal in position 3, Australian Federation Party in position 4, One Nation in position 5, and an A1 associated independent in position 7. In the seat of Flynn, we see Liberal National Party in position 2, One Nation in position 3, and sadly, the Great Australian Party in position 4. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, these are real how to vote cards. The question that we're putting out there is, what deal has the United Australia Party entered with the Liberal Party? We've seen very preferential treatment by the Liberals towards the United Australia Party on their Senate how to vote card for Victoria and Tasmania, putting the UAP in second position. And now we see that the United Australia Party, in several key seats, lower house seats around the country, has placed the Liberal Party above multiple freedom-friendly minor parties. This is simply a matter of fact. I'm leaving emotion out of it. I consider it only fair and reasonable that I speak about this, especially due to the fact that the United Australia Party's mantra has been, we can never trust Liberal, Labor or the Nationals and Greens again. Put the incumbent member last. We've seen representatives from the United Australia Party claiming that the major parties will be last, but the question is, in what order do they go last? Enough with dodging the questions, UAP management. It's time for you to come clean and tell the Australian public exactly what you have done. Here in Victoria, we've been through 7 lockdowns. We've been through an extraordinary amount of pain and suffering, millions of us. And I can tell you that we are strong, we're resilient, we're still standing, and we're still fighting. So my message to Clive is really simple. We don't need you. We don't need your billions of dollars. And as far as I'm concerned, you're not welcome in Victoria. If you're in Victoria and you'd like to get elected a real freedom independent into the Senate in this year's federal election, then vote 1, Group R, above the line on the Senate ballot paper. That is R for Revolution. Authorised by Morgan Charles Jonas, Independent for the Senate, Melbourne.